all the sport in general for your efforts over the last few years. Congratulations.
Taking me by surprise.
Along with the medal goes a plaque for you to keep for yourself. That you can wear around today. That goes in your bedroom.
Thanks very much, Stratty.
From Advance Australia.
Terrific. Okay, well, I'm very flattered and honoured and surprised. It's an absolute fluke that I'm wearing the tie today, I can tell you that. So's he. But I'm very flattered. Anyway, back to the game. Your tip Wynnum Manly. Quickly, why?
South only beat us just with 12 men, and they played as well as they could, and so did we. We played as well as we could against Wynnum Manly last week, and they beat us by quite a margin. I think their overall strength is going to be too strong. South, champion team, and congratulations to them for making the 4 grand finals in a row. If they can hold Wynnum for the first 25 minutes, I think it's going to be a point difference. If they can't hold it for 25, it's going to be a big Wynnum win.
In previous encounters this season, it's been the Magpies by 2-1. In the pre-season, by 20 points to 18. In the first round, by 20 points to 3. But in the second round, Wynnum Manly defeated South by 19 points to 8. Let's look at the two sides. Firstly, Wynnum Manly. Fullback is Scott. The wingers are Butler and Warren Green. The centres are Miles and French. The halves are Walsh and Dawes. Lock forward is Johnson. The second row is Seaton and Batiste. And the front row is Zillman, David Green, and the captain, Rod Morris. The coach, of course, is brother Des Morris. The South's team, Spencer at fullback, Chalice and Thompson the wings, Meninga and Belcher the centres. The halves are Harry and Sully. The lock forward power. Second row is Tessman and Lumbey. And the front row, Grinky, Billy Johnston the skipper, and Higgs. And the coach, of course, is Bob McCarthy. Well, just very briefly, I'm going to tip Wynnum Manly because of the nature of their play in the last 2 matches in the finals. They thrashed Redcliffe 35-0 and Valleys 26-5, 2 of the best defensive sides in the comp. I think they've got better all-round strength than South. But what about you, Dave?
Peter, I don't like to go against an Advanced Australia ambassador, and congratulations, by the way, on getting that, but I've ended up going for the Magpies in a very hard decision. I think the match should be a thriller. Really, they're very similar styles, these both two sides. They're the two fastest sides in the competition. I think South are a very well-drilled side. They've got intricate set moves. They've got the best organised defence in the competition, and they're also very well disciplined, and discipline is very important in a game such as today. Wynnum Manly, well, they've certainly proved in the last 2 weeks that they're unstoppable if they get a lot of possession, but I don't think Billy Johnston will allow that today, and I really doubt that their defensive pattern, Wynnum Manly's that is, can contain that free-flowing style of the Magpies. So on the assumption that there's going to be an equal share of possession, I would think that the Magpies will once again be premiers in 1982.
Well, the atmosphere here today is better than I can remember in a grand final in the last 10 years. Of course, we haven't seen Wynnum Manly in a grand final in that time, and I think that's the reason. There's such tremendous fervour. There's dancing girls out there in the middle. There are skydivers. There are banners. There's cars all around the place that are just decked from hubcap to bumper bar in the green and red colours of Wynnum Manly. In fact, it looks a bit like a strawberry patch as you look out at the hill, the green and red. Out in the centre, the dancing girls, of course, and the atmosphere here before the kick-off, absolutely electric. That's what they're after, the Winfield Cup for the top side at the end of the 1982 season. Well, a great moment here at Lang Park as we wait for the arrival of the two sides onto the playing ground. Feathered Fury is the term that's been used this week in the press for this clash between the two clubs that have the symbols of the magpie, of course, for Souths, and the seagull for Wynnum Manly. And here comes Billy Johnston, the little motor mechanic from Cunnamulla. A proud moment for him as he leads out the mighty Magpies, who were defeated by Valleys in 1979. They were defeated by Norths in 1980, but they got up in the last seconds of last year's grand final to win the premiership.
Well, Billy Johnson, deputising as captain for the suspended Bruce Hassel today, realises only too well his responsibility to get a fair share of possession. He's up against an informed David Green, tagged as the hooker that doesn't cheat.
Rod Morris, the 32-year-old prop forward who's a lay-down misère for the Australian Kangaroo side, leads out Wynnum Manly, the sentimental favourite for today's grand final. And every game that he's led Wynnum Manly in this season, they have won.
Wynnum's presence in their first ever grand final is largely due to the efforts of the Morris brothers, Coach Des and of course his younger brother Rod the Rock Morris. His leadership in scrummaging and control of the rucks is essential for Wynnum's chances this afternoon.
The 31-year-old sheet metal worker Eddie Ward controlling his 5th successive rugby league grand final, and not successive but his 5th in all. And there goes the whistle. And Wynnum Manly kicking off into the breeze, which is going to be a big factor in this match. It's coming from the north, behind Spencer, the South's fullback, as he takes the ball and the tackle inside his own quarter in centre field. Tremendous atmosphere here at Lang Park. The crowd in fever pitch before the first kick of the game. That's Tessman. He's only played 3 A-grade matches in the Winfield Cup Premiership after breaking an ankle earlier in the year. That's Higgs, turning it back to support upside beside him, and Billy Johnston, the skipper. Deputising for Bruce Haskell, who was suspended. Meninga gets his kick away. He was charged as he kicked by Johnston, but it's quite legal. Terry Butler pulled down 32 metres out from his line, and a tackle by Belcher. Gene Miles, who twisted an ankle in a last-minute training run yesterday morning, but has come through okay. Green. Well, good defence from the Magpies, swarming all over the ball carrier. Zillman it is, plays it back. Rod Morris. No respect for age there. The senior citizen of the Wynnum Manly side, or the grand old man you might prefer to call him. Brian Batiste. Nice tackle. Seaton on the blind side's come up calling for it, but instead it goes to Miles. There's that big boot into the wind. Ken Spencer shapes to kick but runs. He hasn't slipped in for this game.
Well, both sides doing it to the letter now, exactly how the coaches would have wanted to control play early and then kick downfield and move up with a straight line of defence. There's Malcolm Meninga's first touch of the ball, or the first run with the ball. The crowd goes berserk. In actual fact, the coaches, I think, would be very satisfied up to date. Both lines of defence very tight, and no mistakes thus far.
South's in possession, 15 metres short of halfway. Sully bursting onto the ball. Gary Grinke. Back to Harry for the kick, using this breeze, tucking it in behind the winger, and Colin Scott can't stop it. Touch of Wally Lewis magic about Bruce Harry. He's got all the skills. And so the scrum only 10 metres outside the Wynnum Manly quarter line.
And of course, this will decide the match. Whoever wins the ball, I think, in this game will win the match. And of course, David Green has monopolised scrum possession in their 2 matches leading up to this final. These one scrums 2-1. The first one goes to South.
Sully, caught by Seaton. Chalice into dummy half, the 19-year-old sensation. Leading try scorer in the Brisbane competition. He breaks away and cut down inside the quarter. What an electrifying burst from Johnston. A bad pass. Harry. So they're inside the Wynnum quarter. Centre field. Sully. Meninga. The big fella has a run. Bad pass. Terry Butler goes back, but Thompson beats him to it.
Gee, it looked like that Butler was really on his guard then. Meninga's been hurt. Meninga's down. He's holding his left arm. That's the elbow that he injured in the test match. Or is it his solar plexus? Might have just been winded.
Harry breaks a tackle. Finds support in Belcher. Thompson's muffed it. Good obstruction play by Warren Green.
Penalty for offside there. Southside on that loose ball. Certainly offside. Meninga's not well. I think he's just breathing in deeply now. It just could have been wind. And of course, South definitely cannot afford to lose this big fella, and Wynnum Manly realise the potential, the match-winning potential of Meninga, and must, every time he is in possession, they must put him to the ground, and put him to the ground heavily.
That's what they did to Wally Lewis last week. They hit him with everything but the kitchen sink. Zillman over the quarter line. Hit by Lumbey, the man who hasn't missed a match this season, the only player on either side to do that. Sean Johnson, the lightweight lock. David Green. Rod Morris. .32 metres out from Wynnum's line. Dawes. Seaton. Oh, he's muffed it completely.
Grand final pressure. Gary Seaton, normally one of the safest handlers, and of course we talk about experienced players. Seaton would be one of the most experienced in Brisbane football at least. And of course, no matter who you are, you'll still get the jitters in the early minutes of a grand final.
The battle for scrum possession, the key to the game, and Wynnum Manly have evened the score at 1-1. Peter Dawes to play it. Came up from Thurul this season with Brian Batiste. Brian Walsh. Oldest man in the Wynnum Manly side bar Rod Morris, 27 years of age.
Malcolm Meninga's still not well.
Johnson, a good run. 11 metres short of halfway. Green, Dawes, Miles. He's been devastating in midfield.
Penalty for taking the man without the ball. Penalty against Adrian Higgs, I think it was, and Wynnum Manly getting the first 2 penalties of the match. Malcolm Meninga looks like he's holding his ribs. And, of course, absolutely vital for the Magpies' chances that Meninga stays on the field.
Well, Gene Miles is the man who's marking Meninga, and Miles in tremendous form of late. He's kicked that one almost into the stratosphere. That's the halfway line. Zillman. Rod Morris taking it wide of the ruck. Always draws in a couple of tacklers. Very rarely do you see Rod Morris lose possession. Bit of a biff went on there. He just let one fly at Tessman. Batiste.
Meninga's a passenger.
On the blind side, Meninga holding his ribs. Sean Johnson. Green. Rod Morris puts it out in front of Cole Scott, who couldn't handle it under pressure. And so that's Magpie ball.
Malcolm Meninga there would have done well if he needs attention to stay down there, because it would have been a dead ball. He could have got attention. And, of course, South wouldn't have suffered any disadvantage. There he is, going back very dejected looking. And, of course, what a disappointment it would be for Meninga if he has incurred a serious injury in the first minutes of a grand final. He is not well at all. And, of course, with the Kangaroo Tour picked a week tonight after the Sydney Grand Final, Malcolm Meninga's chances could be doubly jeopardised.
Bruce Harry to play the ball just inside his own half. No score in the grand final. Billy Johnston. Warren Green, beautifully taken. The green machine, they call this fella.
South not moving up in their normal straight line there. Normally they're one of the perfectly coached sides that when they kick now, they move up in a very good straight line.
Pressure, pressure. Sean Johnson this time. 2 knock-ons. Scrum.
It's 3 errors now.
McCarthy looking like a sphinx.
Now, I'm sure the concern on Bob McCarthy's face would be directed at the health of his key player, Malcolm Meninga.
Peter Dawes gets there first, just beating Alan Power. Wynnum ball. Walsh. Miles. Taken head high by Harry with help from Sully. Brian Batiste beats one. Made a remarkable recovery from a back injury earlier this season. There's Meninga, just the passenger. They're offside. So the first penalty kick that would be kickable, but this fellow's going off the field. Now I think it might have been his hip or his ribs. Ken Ra, the trainer, coming out to have a look at Meninga. There's a big kick from Gene Miles. That one has travelled 45 metres.
Great opportunity here now for Wynnum Manly. South with a man down.
Eddie Ward keeping South back to 10 metres. The first ruck taken up by Rod Morris.
Meninga's returning to play.
Dawes decides to have a go on his own. Wynnum looking a little bit rattled at this stage.
Setting up a move, Peter.
On the blind side, yes, it's Seaton. South anticipated it and covered it well through Grinky. That's David Green. Caught by Sully round the legs. Seaton. Dawes. Puts up a kick. That's a shocker. Knocked on by Terry Butler. 2 players in there. There's a little bit of nerves, I think, David, understandably.
A lot of
Manly side.
A lot of nerves there, Peter. Their first ever grand final. A lot of pressure on those players. The club expecting so much of them. Of course, they're coming up against defending premiers and the side that's played in the last 3 grand finals.
And South have won the scrum. Sully gets it away neatly.
Interesting statistic. 3-1 the scrums now to South.
Tessman. The boy from Kingaroy who's made a late bid for the grand final side. Only played 2 A-grade games before this one in the premiership after breaking his ankle earlier in the year. That's Higgs. On the quarter line. No score in the grand final. Sully. Johnston. Harry. Well tackled by Rod Morris. Power. Green perfectly positioned. Came down from Toowoomba this season. Keeps it alive through Walsh. Now Scott. Scott running across field. Gets away from Belcher. Links up with French. French has got Butler outside, and Terry Butler goes in. He's going to score the first try of the grand final. Around he goes, number 1.
As I mentioned earlier, South not coming up in that normal, perfect straight line of defence. It started by the other winger, Warren Green, kept the ball alive. Colin Scott realised South were thin on this right-hand side. The crowd has gone absolutely crazy, and of course you can see the amount of Wynnum Manly support. Wynnum Manly register first blood. That's Terry Butler's first try in this match. Of course, he scored 3 last. And there's the kick by Harry. Not a particularly good one because he didn't get a lot of ground. Wynnum Manly waiting for it. Warren Green stands it up. Have a good hit tackle there by Chalice. The ball popped out to this right-hand side. Colin Scott cuts across to the right. He knew he was a big chance, and there I thought Belcher had him. He breaks away, and then it was just a matter of setting up Terry Butler. He runs to the fullback, pops it out, and Butler, there was no way they were going to catch this flyer, and he brings the ball right around. Bruce Harry, who had kicked the ball, did his best to get to him. He wasn't going to, and Butler puts it down untouched right underneath the sticks. Great start from Wynnum Manly, and it should be only a formality now for Warren Green to put on the extras.
And bring up his 100 points. He's on 99 points this season. There it is. 5-0. Here's the head-on shot. That's the icing on the cake. Terry Butler, who scored 3 last week against Valleys, goes round for Wynnum Manly's first try. And how easy was it? Good clean strike by David Green. Peter Dawes takes it, and the tackle of Tessman. Sean Johnson. Wynnum Manly lead 5-0 in the 1982 grand final. Batiste. Dawes. Seaton. Still got the pass away. One-handed flick pass to Terry Butler, the flying winger. He's over the quarter line. Tackled by Thompson. Dawes. Walsh. Harry putting one in as he brought him to ground. 1 to go. Miles puts in the kick. Sends Thompson racing back. Thompson's got Spencer on his left. Goes through on his own, and he's made the break. Lovely run from Gary Thompson.
Once he'd made the break, why didn't he just hug his wing? He cut back inside and just ran into the Wynnum Manly defence, and of all defenders, the 2 front rowers, they were no chance to get him down the line.
Long ball out to Meninga. Meninga clapping on the pace. He's broken away. Over the quarter line, back inside. It's knocked down by the fingertips of Green.
Offside. Wynnum Manly definitely offside there. Touched by Wynnum Manly, and then Green came back to get the ball.
It was French who knocked it down, and Green who picked it up. Offside. But Meninga has decided to stay on, and he's really giving it everything.
Not bad for a fellow who's half fit. Can he kick goals, though? Of course, with that injury, he's got to stretch to his limit to be able to hit the ball properly, and this will tell whether he gets the ball cleanly off his boot.
So Malcolm Meninga with this kick to make it 5-2. There's more Wynnum Manly supporters than Souths by the sound of the chant. It's an angled kick just outside the quarter. He's hit it well. It's away. No goal. Scott beats 1. Good run from Colin Scott. Played for Queensland 1979, 80, 81. Johnson. Morris calls for it, but instead it goes to Peter Dawes. This little surprise packet took over from Terry Saunders halfway through the season, and it's really killed them in the last few games. Zillman. Taken high by Harry, low by Adrian Higgs. 5-0 the score. Wynnum Manly lead in the grand final.
South aren't harassing Gene Miles when he kicks the ball. He's having all the time in the world. Good defence, Wynnum. They've got a good straight line moving up. Gary Seaton has got a slight knock in that tackle. Wynnum Manly doing it well.
Tessman. Strong run from young Brad Tessman. Sully sees the gap, accelerates. He's over halfway. But again, Rod Morris there. Higgs. Johnson. Saw Lumbey there, but it slipped it to Meninga, and Meninga's broken through. He's got support both sides, but it's intercepted. Miles. Well, 3 times we've seen Meninga break away, and 3 times they've lost the ball.
The inclination there, Peter, is that Meninga is absolutely giving it everything, but of course once he gets into a pocket, doesn't particularly want to be tackled, and I think on that occasion, had he been completely fit, he might have tried to go all the way himself.
He's having trouble passing the ball. You can see he's awkward. Lovely little pass from Rod Morris to Scott. He's almost up to halfway. Wynnum Manly looking good. Walsh, Miles, French, Brett French, clever on his feet, plenty of pace, over the halfway line, hit by Harry, the man who gave the pass for the first try to Butler, Brett French. Through Green, Dawes, Morris, still got the pass away. Zillman, Batiste, lovely tackle, Higgs. 1 to go. The crowd in a constant hubbub from the kickoff. Walsh, Chalice picks it up like a cricketer, beautifully snapped up.
Magic.
Belcher. He and Chalice came into South's team in the first game in the State League, about the 4th round of the State League together. What a success they've both been. Mistake again from South. Zillman in possession. Miles. Great success, Gene Miles. The man from Townsville has been for the Seagulls. Morris. Oh, a nice little one-hander, but Terry Butler couldn't handle it. Meninga! Very close to touch. Managed to stay in field. Gets the crowds on their toes every time he gets the ball. The touch judge on.
What's the experience here of... no, I thought it was Rod Morris who was going to get penalised, but it's not. It's David Green. Of course, they must put all the pressure possible on Malcolm Meninga now. Wynnum Manly are endeavouring to do that when they do get a hold of him, but this big fellow at around about 30% fitness is still causing heaps of problems for the Seagulls.
Johnston, Sully, Grinky, the 21-year-old policeman, came from Redcliffe to Souths this year and played in the grand final. Might win one. Higgs, bear hug by Seaton. That's the quarter line on the left. Alan Power. Strong run. Knocked back. Harry's ball. Play on. 6 to go. Sully. Oh, nice break by Sully. He's got Lumbey with him. Lumbey for the corner. And Lumbey scores, is he? He sure is. Go over the line. It's a try.
Sliding try, great work from South. Brad Sully did it beautifully. The little dummy straight through the gap. Wynnum Manly really had enough players there to handle that situation, but it was the brilliance of Brad Sully. This fellow's only back in his 2nd game after a long layoff with injury. Lumbey loomed up alongside, didn't need Thompson. Have a look at Sully's great little work here. A little bit of a dummy. Past Seaton, I think it was. Away he goes, steps in. Watch Lumbey come in one. Away he goes. Short of the line, then bounces over for a fair try.
So here's Mal Meninga. Only a 53% success record with the boot this season, but he has the ability of kicking goals in big matches. You'll remember his performances in the State of Origin series. In grand finals, he's been as solid as a rock. This to make it 5-all. Missed it.
Let's have a look at it now from head on. Let's see Brad Sully. Firstly through the gap, then steps in. That stood up the defence beautifully onto Lumbey, and Lumbey's got enough pace. Loves to lurk out wide, short, and bounces over with his momentum. Fair try. The scrum.
You saw the downward motion that was fed with.
And point first, Peter's been well talked about this week, that Eddie Ward or the referees overall are looking for the halfbacks to feed the ball point first. And when you think of it, it's not a bad idea. The ball going in with the majority of the ball for which the hook is to strike at.
That's the quarter line. Good run from Grinky. Only 21 years of age, 15.5 stone. Sully. Power out wide. He's He's got pace, used to be the state fullback. Lovely tackle made by Zillman, a prop forward. Tessman. Good last tackle by Peter Dawes. Billy Johnston. The grubber kick speared through, finds touch inside the Seagulls' half. So Johnson gets the loose head. Great clash between these two hookers. That's the scrum count. South's leading 5-2 at this stage. The last time these two sides met, Wynnum won 7 scrums straight in the second half of the match, and they won the game significantly by 19 points to 8. Dawes gets the tap on the backside, feeds the scrum, and it's a clean scrum win. No doors open there for him. Scott accelerates into the tackle.
He's been involved as much as the front rowers, Colin Scott. Loves to get involved, and a dangerous player coming in from fullback.
See. On the halfway line. That's Peter Dawes. Decides to have a run and goes like a Exocet missile, but straight into the tackle of Meninga. From Miles to Walsh to French. French clapping on the pace, cleaving through tackles. That's forward. Oh, gee, he's got some speed.
He's been dangerous, and of course not a good pass there going to Colin Scott, but the opportunity was there. You don't get many chances to break a line in a grand final, and if you've got a reasonable chance of getting the ball, you've got to give it a go.
8 minutes till half-time. Wynnum Manly 5, Souths 3 in the grand final.
These are good scrums too. Whilst we're getting a few players on the ground, at least we're getting a clear tunnel there. Both hookers prepared to wait for the ball to come in.
Penalty Wynnum Manly.
Oh, it's very difficult there for the players. Eddie Wood obviously had said there, keep out of it wide. South just went down prematurely. It was pretty hard at times to get the message to the second rowers. And penalty there going to Wynnum Manly. What an important one it was.
The big kick of Gene Miles drives the Seagulls inside South's quarter line. They lead 5-3.
Penalty.
Penalty, not back 10 metres.
Warren Green must have a go for 2 points.
He is. Warren Green. He's hit it right in the middle, and it's 7 points to 3, Wynnum Manly's favour. Well, that was the score at half-time, 7 points to 3, and really I think it's a great game, a typical grand final. There's nothing in it really in the statistics. The scrums are 5-4 to Souths, the penalties are going 7-3 Wynnum Manly's way, and the error count is 6-5 to Souths. But Dave, all I can say is it's a terrific game.
Absolutely fantastic, Peter. I think both sides have really given it everything, and probably the most significant tackle of the game was this one on Malcolm Meninga when he got injured in the very early minutes of the game, takes the ball on the left-hand side, and it's taken by both centres. There's a real hard charge by Brett French, and watch Gene Miles pull him to the ground hard. It's just debatable where the injury actually occurred. Watch French come in hard with his shoulder and head. Meninga packs up pretty well, but watch Gene Miles drag him down to the ground, make sure he crashes into the ground hard. Of course, South lost the ball from that insinuating pass, and have really been under a reasonable amount of pressure from a fairly hard-hitting Wynnum Manly defence. What the two coaches are saying, well, let me surmise that Bobby McCarthy would have been very, very disappointed with the way that side moved up when they kicked downfield, and of course Wynnum Manly's try came directly from South's kick downfield. I'm sure he'll be concentrating on that and saying we must maintain that straight line of defence. He'll be very, very disappointed in that, because when they're set, they look very, very good to the Magpies. Wynnum Manly, on the other hand, they have the 7 points to 3 lead, and Des Morris would be very grateful for that, but I think he'd be emphasising this first 10 minutes. If they can get early points on, then psychologically they'll gain a great advantage over the Magpies, and I think that advantage then could see the day through. I'll still stick with my first pick, the Magpies, but it could go either way.
Well, there's a big black cloud over Lang Park, and I wonder if that portends something for this second half. Sit back and enjoy the second half of the 1982 Grand Final. The kick from Meninga goes dead. I'd say Meninga probably had a painkilling injection at half-time, Dave.
Wouldn't surprise me at all, Peter, depending on the injury, and I think it may be a rib injury, and of course he won't want to jeopardise his chances for the Kangaroo Tour, but of course this game is paramount at the moment.
Interesting to look back to the last two clashes. Firstly, the reserve grade grand final, a tremendous finish. Peter McWhirter's Valley side going down to John Barber's Redcliffe side, at least Trevor Day's Redcliffe side, 11 points to 10. And the third grade, well, South's got up there convincingly over Redcliffe by 22 points to 3. And that was Bunny Pearce's swan song in rugby league. In the under-18 clash, West's 23 beat Police Academy 13. Just looking back at the clash between these two sides in the second round, Wynnum Manly won by 19 points to 8. After it was 8-5 to Souths at half-time, and in the second half, Wynnum Manly's hooker David Green won the scrums 10-5. He won 7 straight. I wonder if that sort of thing might happen again. He's got the first one, Dawes.
Good cover there from Alan Power, doing his job at lock.
Johnson. Nice play. Batiste. That's great support work. Wynnum Manly well drilled. Seaton. Lovely tackle from Sully. He's lost the ball. Billy Johnston galloping away. Chalice. Walsh makes the tackle. South turned defence into attack. Here's Tessman. Good tackle.
Brad Tessman not really keeping his eyes open there. South with plenty of players available on the left.
Sully. Drinky. Pulled down by Batiste. Sully. Lumbey. The man who scored the try, the Iron Man, Ash Lumbey, hasn't missed a game in 2 years for Souths. Sully. Harry. Spencer. Hitting the line hard, but a good tackle by French. They're inside the quarter. Sully. Harry. Little chip. Scott underneath it. An easy one to take. Here's where he was dangerous last time. That's the man he scored the try last time. Thompson making the tackle with help from Belcher. Just inside the quarter. Cole Scott, the former captain of Wynnum Manly. Zillman. Very important for the psychological advantage to score first in the second half. It's still 7 points to 3 to Wynnum as Seaton breaks away. Caught by the prop forward Higgs, who made 13 tackles in the first half. Dawes. Miles. Back inside to Scott. Almost uncanny, the teamwork between those two. They played together for so long in Townsville. Morris. Driving up towards the halfway line. That's 6. The reserves, Ray Duncan on the right, Peter Sibley, the blonde hair, Daryl Jenner, and Tony Canberra is sucking his thumb. Look at the clash on the tight head props there. There's a penalty. It's a great battle between these forward packs, isn't it? They're two very good packs.
I would, and they've packed some pretty tidy scrums so far today, but Wynnum Manly on that occasion using the hand. And David Green has surrendered quite a bit of possession. Admittedly, it might not have been him.
Oh, he's in pain, isn't he? You can see, just from kicking the ball. Oh, a break two. Straight up the centre goes Higgs. The mind goes back to a magnificent break he made here once earlier this season at
Player down in back play. Sorry, Peter.
Tessman taking it up.
Billy Johnson, I think it might be, is down.
Well, he's a boxer. He's been down for the count before. Can he get up? That's the question. Sully dashing away. Well, Wynnum Manly were over for a try just before half-time, but it was disallowed for a knock-on. Billy Johnston, the Queensland middleweight boxing champion, on his feet. Eddie Ward's had his hands full with these scrums. They've been getting worse progressively. Neither side willing to give an inch. That one's a clean strike, and the referee said no, it's been knocked on. Peter Dawes knocking on. significant that both sides are standing up very flat. Dawes, Scott. Sean Johnson, tireless as ever. Over the halfway line now. Haven't seen Wynnum in South's half in this half of football. Here's the chance. Dawes, Batiste. Dawes, Walsh. He's lost it. And we'll have another scrum. So the tempo of the game slowing somewhat.
I think Wynnum have been frustrated by this great South defence in the first 20 minutes of the second half. They have really been punishing. Wynnum just a little bit frustrated. They realise that they're the ones that have got points on the board. They don't be fancy, and that's probably why that Souths are being able to contain them.
South's ball, Sully. The rain coming down much heavier now. Spencer. Strong run from dummy half. It's taken place 7 metres inside Wynnum's half. Tessman. This rain, I feel, might tend to help South. They've played together as a side, without Astle, of course, since the very beginning of the season. Looking right back to the beginning of the State League, it was exactly the same unit. Even Tessman was in the side then. Lumbie. Lumbie's strong, but unable to make that break.
Wynnum not moving up.
You'll see some grafting work now with the rain coming down. Belcher. Belcher's broken through. Only the fullback to beat. He had Sully on his right but couldn't pass. Great tackle, Colin Scott.
No word that Wynnum Manly, we're starting to see some holes in the middle of that Wynnum Manly defence now. They're just not moving up. They're nowhere near as positive as the South defensive unit. What a scrum this one will be.
Starting to weaken a bit, aren't they, Wynnum? There's a few gaps appearing, and Colin Scott let his teammates know it. He might chew his tongue off, Bruce Astle. Must be harder watching from the sideline than out there playing. Johnson. Souths have had their chances time and again, but Wynnum Manly have frustrated them. Miles, Butler clapping on the pace.
Gary Thompson not doing his job out there. Fair enough to stand deep and wait for the kick, but once they realise that Wynnum Manly are running the ball, he must move up.
"17 minutes left in the grand final. Wynnum Manly still leading 7-3. Batiste. Really been a forwards game. The forwards have done more than their share of work. Dawes, Walsh, Miles, French, the run around. Beautiful pass to Scott, who's cut them up the centre. He's trying to look for the support, but it's intercepted. So good is the defence. And Warren Green makes the last-ditch tackle on Belcher.
Well, I thought there was a couple of penalties there. Could have gone to South.
Daryl Jenner coming out.
A couple of penalties there could have gone to Wynnum Manly, I should say. I thought there was an obstruction on one of the South defenders, and also it looked to me like South had touched the ball and they were in an offside position when they got a hold of it. Plus, Des Morris, I think this is not a bad move to make a replacement now. Wynnum Manly, by far from being on top, just need a little bit of new blood, something to instill a little bit of thrust in their side, and a replacement is the right time.
Wayne Bullock it is, not Jenner. It's Wayne Bullock, who's pretty capable sort of centre, or he can play in the forwards as well. Lovely inside pass to Chalice. Went through a high leap. Yes, high tackle. Let's see that one again. It was pretty obvious to us. Miles was the man.
Gene Miles, and of course Chalice coming back inside, and Miles realising that he'd been wrong-footed, spun around and threw everything at him, and certainly hit him high, getting a very strict talking to there from Eddie Ward. Only a penalty. Gene Miles realised it's do or die. There he goes back. He basically had done his job there in containing Chalice, a very dangerous position. There's Batiste going off. He's also done his job today. Des Morris congratulates him, and well he should. He's had a fine game, Batiste. All 26 players have given it their all. It's been a top-class final.
Did you notice when Wayne Bullock came on, he really fired up a few of the players. He had a very strong word to Gene Miles. Don't give away silly penalties. You can't afford to do that in the grand final. That's the score, 7-3. South's ball.
Wynnum Manly haven't given South the opportunity to put on their set moves today. They really harassed Bruce Harry, and he's a player that needs a little bit of time to fiddle around, and Wynnum Manly have done a good job there to ensure that he hasn't had that time. Good hooking there from David Green.
Dawes slips one tackle, scoots away. Beautiful cover defence, Alan Power. 30 metres out from the Wynnum line. Walsh. That's Bullock. Living up to his name with that run. 10 metres from halfway. Seaton. Out to Butler. It's intercepted by Thompson. Thompson coming back infield is caught by Bullock. The fortunes changing very quickly as is possession. Tesman. Taken by Morris and Bullock in number 14. So Batiste replaced by Bullock. Johnson. Higgs. Inside the quarter. South's having a territorial advantage in this second half. Will Wynnum Manly crack? That's the question. Beautiful inside pass. Players starting to get pretty wet and heavy as Grinke plays it back. Sully. Wrong footing the defence. Throwing a long pass. Goes to Belcher. He's caught by the cover defence. Stays in field. No, the touch judge's flag's gone up. Eric Hunt on the far side is putting up the flag.
How long can Wynnum Manly hold out? They've basically been down inside their territory for, as Peter said, the majority of the second half, and it's been a fantastic performance in defence by the Seagulls.
And they're winning a few scrums, but that'll have to go in again. Morris and Higgs having a push and a shove here, and a penalty going South's way. Probably for breaking the scrum up. And the crowd getting wet, but still absorbed in this. It's an absolute sellout, the crowd today at Lang Park. The rain still pouring down. Meninga. Not much point in that kick, really, except to give them some time to set up the move. 10 metres out. Higgs.
Of course, this is where Bruce Astle normally used to come up with the tries, and probably sounds lacking a little bit of punch there from the absence of Astle.
Lumbie's lost it. That ball like a piece of soap now. Miles has copped a bit of a knock. David Green decides to just settle things down. Once again, content to just ruck it out. Wynnum really need to get out of their own half. Rod Morris. Strong run. Look, we took 3 defenders with him. Now back to Miles for the kick. Sends Thompson scurrying back, but Spencer again. Beautifully taken. Tackle made by Brett French. 10 metres inside South's half. Tesman. Look at that tackle. Brett French. Sully. Lumbie. Sometimes wonder if this fella ever gets tired, Ash Lumbie. Chant coming up for Wynnum now. But South's in possession. A long ball fired from Harry out to Belcher. They're trying everything, Souths. But so far without success in this second half. Harry. Tesman. Still got the pass back. Harry again. Lost the ball under a crunching tackle. Picked up though. Lumbie.
That's better from Wynnum Manly. They've done their job. They've kept South inside their own territory, and South now have to kick. It's not a good one.
And this fella's pretty dangerous. Terry Butler. He's got loads of pace. Caught on the halfway line by Sully. Bullock. Nice pen. Takes it 5 metres inside South's half. 10 minutes left in the grand final. Still Wynnum Manly 7, South 3. The rain coming down. Seaton. I reckon Wynnum Manly might be advised to close it up. Just play it tight. It's not the weather for fancy football. French. They've got the points on the board. 7-3 with 4-point advantage. But by no means safe. Miles' kick's going to be too long. But it's bounced back. Spencer's missed it. Walsh is held. He's got the ball. Here's the chance for Wynnum Manly. Green from dummy half. A desperate mistake there by Spencer. Now Miles. Out to Bullock. The pass is knocked to the ground by a South hand. Play on, 6 to go. It's French. That pass looked forward. Miles. Tackle counts restarted. Suddenly, Wynnum Manly in with a chance of sealing this game. Brett French is hurt, but play goes on. Great run from Zillman. 36,000 fans shouting their heads off. David Green from dummy half. Dawes settling the players down on the open side. It comes to him. Then to Miles. Then to Walsh. Then to French. And French will score. Brett French is in. That one could clinch it.
It certainly will. That's the grand final for Wynnum Manly. They've done it. They've beaten the premiers, I'd say now. I don't think South can come back from here with the kick to come. Time will beat them. Wynnum Manly did it nicely. They were prepared to just play it safe, nice and tidy. They did the right thing by getting the ball eventually down into South territory, applied all the pressure, and a beautiful crisp backline movement here. Saw Gene Miles put Brett French away by drawing 2. Walsh it was who eventually drew the 2 and put Brett French into the clear, and he scampers across for a great Wynnum Manly try.
But this man, Warren Green, has the chance to make it 12 points to 3, and with only 7 minutes left, I think that might be too big a gap. There's the kick. Yes! Wynnum Manly 12, South 3.
Let's have a look at it now from head on, and what's the good work here by Brian Walsh. Draws 2, there's 1. In comes Belcher, I think it was. He had no need to come in there. His man was Brett French, and that left the gap there, and Brett French is very, very happy, and well he might be.
Des Morris won't permit himself even a smile at this stage. He's deadly serious. Sully, Harry, on the inside, Tessman. Telegraphed it. Was too easy to pick. Morris has got it. It's been the story of the second half, really. South's had all the chances, but Wynnum Manly hit them so hard they lost possession. From Zillman to Johnson. Out wide's Miles. Backing up Scott. Fends off a man. Flaps on the pace. Goes through Grinky. On the inside, Walsh. Kicks ahead. And it's intercepted by Tessman. 3.5 minutes left. Chalice has had precious few opportunities to show that brilliant attack. Sully. Harry. Meninga. Fends off French. Turns it back inside. Harry.
Well, we see Wynnum Manly are absolutely everywhere. South have made a couple of half breaks today, but Wynnum Manly have been there in defence, and I thought possibly that Wynnum Manly's most suspect point was their defence, but it's proved their winning factor today. I think that South have had those chances. They've made a number of breaks, but it's Wynnum Manly's cover defence and their ability to recover that has ensured that they've won today's game. They were the greedy side, Wynnum Manly. They wanted to win the most, and South really just lacked that little bit of punch. I think they really missed Bruce Astor's finishing ability when they got close to the line, and it wasn't to be for the Magpies. They've now played in 4 consecutive grand finals and won only one of them, and that was in the dying minutes of last year's grand final. Really a great game of rugby league. All 27 players who have participated have done a fantastic job.
Still the rain coming down, and Wynnum Manly quite happy to just settle the ball. 2 minutes left, and all they have to do is just hold the ball for 6 tackles, keep the play pretty safe. They're not doing that. That was a beautiful little pass from Zillman again, sending Scott on a run. If they've got it sewn up, this will be their first grand final win, and the celebrations at the Bayside tonight will be something to behold. The Seagulls won't get any sleep down there tonight. Who are your best players, Dave?
Peter, very hard.
Peter Dawes. Peter Dawes going through. Well, that's the icing on the cake. He just strolled through the tackles And this unsung hero from Wynnum Manly has just put that little touch of class, an extra point.